What is up, Unity community, and welcome on into another official Unity live stream. We are live here right now in this moment on both twitch.tv/Unity and, of course, the Unity YouTube page as well. We have a very special treat for you all today as we are going to dive into another creator spotlight, and we're going to be talking to the team behind Cat Detective Albert Wilde. If you have not seen this game, I assure you there is a lot to love here, and we're going to be talking to the team about their production process, the game design intentions, as well as having them open up the game and show us a little bit about how they set scenes, about their whiteboarding process, and their custom toolkit to help streamline your game process as well. If you are watching live, please be aware this is a conversation. We are here to chat with you, to interact with all of you, and we want to hear what you have to say here. We're seeing a few people already coming in. We had Spahar right at the top saying hello, just finished the game a few days ago. Very humorous and a well-crafted game. If you guys have played this and you have questions for the team, I am here to facilitate those questions, so please let us know. If you are here live, I'd love to know where in the world you guys are tuning in from. Would love to know. Please let us know. If you are watching later on YouTube, you can take a look at that navigation bar down at the bottom and skip ahead to any of the sections that may appeal most to you. If you are here with us live, again, another added bonus. You can win a giveaway. We will be doing a giveaway later in the show, handing out keys to this game to be eligible. You guys need to be watching live, and we will be the giveaway will be taking place over on the Twitch side. So if you were watching on YouTube, it'll take you almost no time at all. We'll let you know when the time is right, but you can pop over there and enter the giveaway. And again, we're giving away 10 keys, which is very, very cool. We got Nick Sims on the YouTube side tuning in from the Isle of Wight. So is Gohel on the YouTube side in India. We got Jack on the Twitch side tuning in from Austin, Texas. The Bull, of course, is in New York, soon to be Florida for a little while. Got to get away from the snow. Last I heard, there was snow in Florida too. So hopefully you're escaping it as well as possible. Good to see everybody. We got a voice unmuted in from Canada, which is fantastic. Again, I hope we got everybody with the hook that there will be cats in this game, because it works. You know what I mean? People love cats. I'm one of those people, and this game does a lot of very cool things, and I think pays homage to cats in the best possible way. We've, of course, got Awesome Fox in Ireland. Great to see you. We've got a blanket fort in Germany from Sen. Of course, we've got representatives from Wakanda in the Twitch chat as well. So again, thank you everybody for being here live. We do have moments set aside for Q&A. So if you guys have questions, please let us know. We'll find an opportunity to, we'll do our best anyways, to find an opportunity to weave them in throughout the stream. We've got people hanging out in Guadalupe as well as Greece. It's good to see everybody. It's always a fantastic opportunity to bring everyone together and bring the Unity community into a space and hang out. Of course, I'm responsible for all of our live stream content here at Unity, and we are live every Thursday at this time in this place. So I'm so grateful that you elected to come and hang out with us today. We also have streams because we're ramping up our schedule a little bit. So we have streams happening on Tuesdays as well. If you want to stay as up to date as humanly possible, as catly possible, you can go and check out the Discord on the left side of the Discord window. You can check out all of the events as they are upcoming, and you can self-assign a live stream tag so that you know as soon as we go live here. Thank you again so much for being here, everybody. We've got Greece, Wales, Mexico, and we've got Lone Luminary Dev in lurk mode. Thank you. Enjoy your lurk. If you guys are here and you're just to absorb it and you're listening and you want everything just coming in, but you just want to sit in the background, totally okay. Would love you to just pop in and say hey to let us know, and then enjoy the rest of the stream from the shadows. I already have seen our producers saying that I'm screaming at the microphone. Thank you to Fredo for framing it as good energy, high energy. That was a nice spin. I really appreciate it. I'll try and stop screaming, but I'm just excited. I'm always excited to be here, but I'm even more excited when we bring in people that are so passionate and create very cool things. So It's good, but peaky energy. Exactly. Again, gang, the game that we're talking about today is Cat Detective Albert Wilde. We're going to show you guys a trailer in just a moment. Then we will bring in our guests and we'll dive into the stream. I want to let you all know a little bit more about this game, though, because you will play as a cat detective, Albert Wilde, walk, talk, interrogate, joke, solve a mystery, and experience an old film noir setting with humanoid animal characters. A story of quantum theory and parallel universes served with a lot of humor. We're going to throw the trailer and we'll see you guys with our guests in just a moment.
This case sounded like one of the weird ones. The body, it ain't normal. But then, what is normal in this city jungle of ours? That was deep. I should write that one down. Name's Albert. Albert Wilde. I'm a private eye. I'm the cat you come to when you need justice in this town. I'm always on the prowl. For the truth. For criminal scum. For a nice bowl full of milk when I get the chance. It takes a cat to balance on the thin line of the law, and I'm the best at it. I'll leave no stone unturned, no question unasked, no butt unsniffed in my hunt for justice. Whoa. Okay. That was weird. Is weird. Weirdness is definitely happening. That's another good one. I need to make notes on these.
And that is your trailer for Cat Detective Albert Wilde. I'm joined now by Maria and Andreas, both from Beyond Those Hills. Welcome on into the show, guys. How are you feeling?
Hello.
Good.
Thanks for having us here.
Of course. Yeah, I'm very excited to chat with you guys. I got to say, this trailer, I've watched it like 4 or 5 times now over the course of like preparing for the stream and getting everything together, and I still laugh at it every time. There's such a layer of comedy throughout this game, and we've already seen a couple of people coming in and saying that they enjoyed it. It was humorous. It was so fun. So you guys have done something fantastic here. I'm excited to dive a little bit more in here. Again, everybody watching live, thank you so much for hanging out and ask questions. We're really excited. Timon's already saying the camera work sells the humor of the game so well, and it's something that we're going to discuss later in the stream. You guys have been kind enough to kind of come in and prepare and show off. That was something that you guys said that you wanted to show off, is how you set the scenes with the cameras and that sort of stuff. So we're going to dive deep. I'm looking forward to it, but I want to get to know you guys a little bit better here. I want everyone to get to know you guys a little bit better here. So we'll start with you, Maria. Can you tell us a little bit, tell us who you are and a little bit about what you do on this project.
Yeah. So I'm Maria. I'm doing a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm running the studio. I'm doing a little bit. I'm the co-producer, let's say. I'm not a developer, so I'm involved in every other stuff. And I'm here to participate in the presentation of our latest game. And I think also interesting will be the tools that Andreas has developed for this creation. And I want to first of all say that we are honored that we are here. And from the start, we always worked with Unity. So it's very nice to be here,
Yeah, well, we're thrilled to have you here as well. It was someone within the internal Unity team that it was the art style that was so striking, and also we love cats, that was just like, look at this game, and we knew immediately that we wanted to talk to you. So very excited to have you both here. Andreas, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your responsibilities in the game as well?
Yeah, so I'm Andreas, and we have co-founded Beyond Those Hills like 10 years ago, I suppose, Maria. And so we are. My responsibilities at the beginning was mainly I build the tools as a developer, but then I moved more to the creative direction part, which is I probably love more. Yeah, that's. But I will have the whole aspect for. So, for example, for the specific game, I also wrote the original story, and then we worked with the writer, and do the whole direction. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm grateful to have you both here. We'll talk a little bit more about kind of the composition of the studio and the team that you guys worked within, but I'd love to hear, how did you guys get into making games? I know that you're both composers. I know that you're both musicians. How did you find yourself creating games?
Okay, can I start?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can tell this is it's a kind of long story, but so personally, I started first of all, we both are from Greece, and I started wanted to make games very very early in my age. So I started learning programming language when I was actually in the school, and which wasn't very common back then. We didn't even have internet at this age. So so I've started building like text adventures because
Yeah.
the adventures like all the Lucas film LucasArts adventures and everything. Then I studied software engineering and composition and music. I studied both together. I stopped doing a lot of gaming stuff, but then at some point, because the tools it was very very difficult at this point. I tried to write like an OpenGL engine myself, but it was very difficult to do something on your own. So then I was looking at some point. I remember it was even Unity 2 to 3. So it was, and definitely I started with Unity 3 to see the potential. Okay, this is something we can do. And also it was the era of the iPhone that started when the mobile market was booming, and I found an opportunity to, at that point to do that. And then, so this is how at that point we were with Maria together, and we were doing mainly music and art events. And I told her we have to maybe move to this, which combines all the creativity and also arts and everything.
Yeah. It's always interesting to me to talk to people who are working on games, because there is this kind of spectrum of games as art and games as a business, and where they kind of overlap in the middle. So honestly, it's interesting to me, but you're not the first musicians that we've interviewed on these shows, where it's like, oh yeah, I was big into music, and then I had some coding back, and now I really like making games. And I think that's so cool. I'm always curious about the unique background on that. I have to ask before we go too far, are you guys cat lovers as well? Is that how we ended up with a cat detective? Like, is it your own personal passion for cats? Do you guys have cats?
Yes, we
Okay.
have.
Do you want to tell us your cat names? I feel like cat names are important.
Yes, Oscar.
Oscar.
We have one. Yeah, Oscar.
Right now we have only one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I like it a lot.
Yeah. The inspiration for this one was during the COVID. We rent a house in an island because we knew that it would be a very difficult winter, a lockdown. So yeah, we managed to be there, but we were not really alone. We had 20 stray cats outside, and we took care of them and things like that. So yeah, that's how it is connected. Yeah.
That's a really good point, actually. In my brief time, I've spent some time in Greece, a few weeks, and I remember that being one of the biggest things was that there was cats everywhere, and I was like, I love this. This is fantastic. I didn't really put that connection together. That's so interesting to know. I love that there's that kind of that inspiration moment as well. I do want to talk a little bit more about your team. We have the two of you here. You're both co-founders, but you're not in it alone. How have you kind of formulated a team? How many people do you work with? Are they all over the world? Are they closely centralized to you guys? Can you tell us a little bit more about the team?
Yeah. We are both of us the co-founders, but we always worked with other people as contractors, of course, because we are really a very small team. And so we in this game we had Juan that made the art. And then we have a collaboration with Michelle Clough, that she's a writer and narrative designer. She helped us a lot with that because we really don't have any experience in writing something so long. So yeah, she's really a main person for that that project. So we worked very nice with Michelle, and we
Can also
did
say,
a lot of
Maria, from
narration.
where the persons they are, their location.
Yeah, Michelle is from Tail Spinners. This is a collective of writers that they have done a lot of work, very from AAA to very famous indies. So you can find out about them. And Michelle is one of them. So we had a great fit for that project, and we are really thankful that we found her. So that was our second collaborator for that. Then we have collaborated with 2 other developers to help us a little bit here and there, because the game started as a small game and ended 7 to 7 hours playtime. So it needed more work. And what else? Then we have another narrative designer that contribute to some things that we have stuck at one point and give another. So this is David gave us some ideas. From another perspective. And then we collaborate with for sound design, for sound effects, with Audio Creatures and Gabriel that made us most of the sounds, and he did great work. And then what else? Of course, the voiceover, the actor is Alastair, and he's an American. He's not really an actor. His background is from audio
cool.
engineering, and he's also a lawyer. And
Whoa.
he just wanted to participate and did this work for
That's
us.
so cool.
Yeah. And what else? And then we have some help in marketing and trailer, some content that we needed for social media. That was made by another studio that we started a collaboration lately. It's Extra Nice, the people that make the game Scheme. And they really help us on that, because it's a lot of work, and it's difficult for a tiny studio to do videos and content for social media. I mean, it's extra work. You know how it is.
Of course.
Andres, what else?
No, I wanted to say, we didn't say where they based all these people.
Oh, yeah.
So, but we can go. I can go. Quickly. When we started, we're both from Greece, and when we started, we were based in Greece, but now we're in Berlin, like 2 years for 1 year actually. Then we have Juan, who was in Spain, and now also he's in Berlin.
Oh, great.
For different reasons. And then Michelle is from Canada. The Extra Nice guys is Netherlands.
David from UK.
UK. So it's all over the place. People. Only the Audio Creature guys are from Berlin, also based. But when we try to collaborate, we try to find people that they can make sense to work on a specific project. Because the budget is always limited to this kind of stuff. And whatever works. But we have a kind of workflow that we can remotely do this kind of work. Of course, I think we've met everybody somewhere at some place in some conferences. So
that's kind of where.
I mean,
go ahead.
It was interesting that the half of them we met them in industry events. We try to participate in it's very important, especially for indies, because we have to, to meet people and see explore, collaborations and find new things. So I think that the half of them meet them somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you've kind of already started to at least address the next question that I really had for you. I know with our live audience here, so much of what they've expressed interest in is learning how to make games, learning how to market games, learning how to get their foot in the door in the games industry. And you guys have a team kind of from all over the world. When you guys are looking for talent and looking for opportunities to collaborate, what is something that makes people stand out? Has it been these face-to-face interactions, or are there other things that make you feel motivated to working with particular people?
Yeah. First of all, of course, talent is a crucial thing. But in our case, in a case of a tiny studio with limited resources, it's also if we fit to collaborate, and it's a sense that you have it when you meet somebody, and you can understand that. It's very important because it's another situation than a big studio that is just hiring. Is completely different thing. Yeah. So that two together. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Important.
I mean, we talk about how important networking is, and interacting with people and understanding their jobs and how you can overlap and interact. And it's part of the reason that we enjoy doing these live streams, is in a way we are creating those connections for people. And we've seen collaboration in the chat during streams. I love seeing the streams go by as people are discussing other things. I do want to kind of ask about the concept phase for Cat Detective, Albert Wilde here, because looking at your previous catalog, you guys had 2 different games in very different genres. How did you kind of land on, hey, let's chase this film noir detective story with comedy, and how did we get there?
I'll take that. Do you want, Maria? Or...
No, we just want to say that we're just testing things, and we have some core things that is, let's say, that connect, is that we try to have a distinct visual art, but not the same every time. If we find the right project, we will stuck there. But so far we try things that are nice, but we keep trying several styles, let's say.
Our process it's a little bit it's unorthodox, and I wouldn't even recommend it to any indie developer, especially if you want to find the publishers, because what we do when we go to publishers, say every time we change the style. I mean, it doesn't make any sense from a business perspective. But this is a creative bug we have in our heads. It's very bad. So we. For the specific game, I had this idea that I wanted somehow to make it technically, visually, to see something, to produce something that I can inside Unity that looks like a very, very old 1930s film. And I'm not talking about only the part of the have the black white stuff, but the whole feeling, the grain, the whole thing that you feel that you see this in a cinema. I achieved that at some point, as a gimmick you use. And then in the beginning we said, okay, we're going to make a very serious concept. I had some very serious concept ideas in my head, but somehow at that point I've seen in Netflix David Lynch, which sadly is not with us anymore. I've seen his post as a very short film with his interrogated as a monkey, which is a very weird thing. I don't remember the name exactly, Maria.
Title is What Did Jack Do?
Yeah, this is the title. Yeah. It's a very weird thing. It's a very short, and but I loved David Lynch forever. And then I saw that, and somehow said, okay, it would be interesting to start having the animals characters aside. And then we started with I replaced one of the characters on my demo with a cat. So this Maria was funny. And then I put the car in the cat. The cat in the car. And then I saw this Maria, and Maria told me, yeah, this is it. So this is how it started. And of course, the whole other story, where the story went, somehow there was I have the whole interest of quantum physics and again in science, and then somehow it came all together with the idea of the cat. I'm not going to say more on that, but it came together that the story that I had in my worked. And so this is and of course at the beginning we say, okay, we're going to make a very, very small game, just for fun, and that
As
became
always,
very,
as always.
very
Yeah.
again. I'm for every new indie developer, never do that. Try to make something small, put it out as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think scope creep, in a sense, is something that we talk about a lot, where it's like you start with an idea and you're like, great, we're going to have it here. But wouldn't it be great if it does this and this and this and this and this as well? Which is really cool. And I mean, everything that you guys expanded to include works well and is so entertaining and it's so enjoyable. But we kind of touched on a little bit about how you guys redefine your style with each effort, with each entry. And the games industry in the state that it's in tends to rely on leaning on existing IP that has a familiarity and a fan base already. Is it a bit of a gamble to change the style every time? How does it feel to kind of balance the creative instincts with the business side of the industry?
Certainly we are stupid. I mean, business-wise, we are completely full. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So,
I mean, I don't think that you're alone. I think that a lot of people have that artistic instinct, especially the indie spirit carries people so far, right?
Yeah, that's true. And I think that the whole indie community and all indie games is that thing. I mean, they have some a personal signature, and they are unusual sometimes. Not always, but a lot of them are unusual. They have probably something innovative that the AAA will not ever, try, or not yet anyway.
Exactly.
And yeah, I mean, a lot of people are looking for indie games. More people now, I think, that they understand this kind of culture. So it's interesting, but also the indie games are too many, and it's very difficult to find the games that you probably like because of marketing, of course. It's not easy for indie games in general.
Yeah, it's always challenging to kind of break out, and I think there's such a unique and striking art style in this game that as soon as someone sees it for a moment, it pulls their attention. So I think that it just pulls in eyes and audience right away, and people love cats.
But it's important to see that, really, right? So it's not so easy to.
Of course. Yeah, of course. I mean, the games industry is usually very divided, right, into your massive big budget games and then the indie spirit, as we've kind of discussed it. And kind of talking about this stream and leading into it, you guys had mentioned to me how indie game development can feel very lonely. It can feel very isolated. What about your own process did you put in place to kind of navigate or mitigate those feelings of loneliness?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. First of all, from your perspective, always. Okay, there are other developers that they like that because we have a completely different background. I mean, we used to before we do that professionally, we used to running some cultural space with every time there are people there and they hang out and everything. So this is completely opposite for us. Especially that we don't have an office here, and where everybody's remote working. So for us, it's a need to collaborate with other developers. So for me, for example, Maria does the same with other collaborators. For me, one of the developers, for example, we have lately is from Greece, and we do a lot of pair programming, co-working sessions. So we open the camera and we stay and we work together to make this more social, and of course this helps from the engineering perspective. It's also, in my opinion, it helps a lot. and brainstorm and things like that. But it's not the case with all the developers. Some who have other collaborators that they don't want to work this way, for example. It depends on the person. And also the other stuff we try to do is and especially Mario is pushing a lot of that, is to go outside, to meet people, to go to conferences, and meet and there you meet a lot of people that you have the same mindset, or can be they can push you forward of what you're doing, because if you only stay inside your room and your bubble, then you can go very quickly in a wrong direction. This is how you feel.
Yeah. Again, kind of touching on the collaborative spirit and interacting with people. I know that you guys had mentioned that you had brought this game to different conventions or different spaces and had people live play it in front of you guys. How important is getting the feedback in that specific way? How impactful is it experiencing the laughter live with some of the people playing your game?
Can I
Absolutely.
Yeah, so for me, if I don't see live, I cannot really have the sense of what is going on. So it is very important when you see, especially with this game. I went to so many conferences, and I was a little bit further from the game, and watching the people playing the game and laughing, and that was my feedback. So it was very important. It's not the same as if you read a line in social media or in Discord. It's not the same. Yeah. So we have to test it every time.
Yeah, I think
how I feel.
Yeah. It's crucial, and we learned this also with our second game a lot. That it's extremely crucial to first of all put the game as soon as possible outside to see if there's interest.
Sure.
In whatever stage it is, I would say again to advise to just push whatever you have put out there. Don't have to afraid if some people afraid that they're going to be stole their ideas or whatever, but just put to see that this works, and because it's very tricky, and we can talk about later about the gameplay decisions, is the game design decision. It's very tricky sometimes what works and what doesn't work. Something you have in mind, you think, it works, it's perfect, it makes sense on the paper, but you put it outside and it doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, I think games have become such an iterative experience, right? Where people are putting out early access games, then they're having long open betas and those types of things. So the early feedback, especially on a comedy game, I'm glad that you guys were able to get some of that in-person experience as well. Because like you said, if someone types LOL in a chat and you're like, wow, they kind of laugh, but hearing the laughter in person is definitely going to impact differently. Thank you guys again.
For us,
go ahead, Andres.
For us, the thing that we understood that this worked is the people that they came to. Let's say we are in in Gamescom. The people came. Some people came say, I don't like adventure games or whatever. I will try it, and they stuck and they play the whole demo. And another advice: just put the small demos outside in conferences, because people are going to spend a lot of time. They like the game, and you will lose customers. But so that's and then when you see that, you say, okay, that works. Even for the person that is negative in the beginning, said, I'm not interested in that kind of thing, but something works.
Yeah, you were able to convert them, it seems, which is always an exciting feat, I'm sure. If you guys are just joining us live here on the Twitch and YouTube channels, we are talking to the team behind Cat Detective Albert Wilde. They are sharing some of their experiences in the production, and we're going to change gears here because, Andreas, you offered to kind of show your whiteboard process, your kind of early brainstorm, your early idea generation, and how it kind of informed the grander thing, which is great because we have Timmons 616 in the Twitch chat saying, when did you lock into the final visual style of Albert Wilde and the other characters? So I think kind of seeing our brainstorm starting at the beginning and then moving forward, I think is going to be really exciting for us.
But regarding the visual style, this came before the game. This came
as
the
first thing.
is the first thing. Is it was in a different project. I always had this obsession to make something look very old. So we implement I implement there a way, not with the most clever engineering way, but something that works. Also, another advice: if something works, you keep it. And then we have several techniques. Maybe I can show you also how to make this feel like that, which is a combination of the camera movements, the field of view, always the lighting, the noise we project on top of this, which is a real noise from a real film. So when you do all this together and the way the characters are moving, the animations, you need all these elements to make it look as it is. The black white is not the important part. Also, the game is not all black and white, by the way. In the end, it becomes color. We make a fun of 90s, 30s when they make the films. There was color film was existing, but it was so expensive. So you have films like Wizard of Oz that they do the first part black and white because it's cheaper, and then have color. So it was we have this kind of
Reference.
meta jokes always about
Yeah.
the films. So about the I can go very quickly about the process. So for me, the first process came writing first the story, which is
Okay.
It's not the whiteboard, but I can show you. It's typically like a script, which I'm writing the story. Of course, this is version 5. Very simple enough, and then we move forward to, let me find my board. To we're very fan of whiteboards.
Oh, great.
And this is also a tool that we use to collaborate with everybody in the team.
I was going to ask.
And
That's
also,
great.
yeah, we learn also with our second game. It's this how we have 3 people there, and we collaborated very, very nicely. Regarding the visual, also not this one, but let's say this is the collaboration with the artist,
Okay.
where we try to figure out every kind of thing that we wanted to, references and everything, and we put it here inside. And we go. I mean, this kind of brainstorming, it's extremely helpful to have everything in one place. At least for me, it works better than a document. We also have a Bible, but this was only for. To be honest, it was for a publisher that they asked, okay, do you have a Bible? Yes, I can create you a Bible. I prefer to work on a visual board.
Mm-hmm.
And the part of the narrative design, again, there's a different versions here. The latest one. How we started the specific game is we had this idea. I had this idea always to how a film was produced, and the way that we do that is we say, okay, we're going to first to define locations as a scouter will do in a film. Also, doing that, we managed to one way we do that, and also it helps with the production courses. We buy assets from Unity Asset Store, in an idea that producers and film will never always create everything from scratch, which we did in our previous games, and it's exhausting and doesn't make a lot of sense always for indie devs. So we say, okay, we're going to find the locations. We're going to create first we created also locations with how different the stories inside, and then we get inside and we say, okay, what kind of story you can say in this. This is what like the first part here, for example, that we're designing this the room, the office of Albert, but we still didn't have everything there. But so moving from there, we started. So the process of that, it came also in Unity by building the graphics parts. So we always have a scene. Each scene has 2 parts. One is the graphics, and one is the gameplay part. And then the next part of the brainstorming, I will say, mainly we can see it in a diagram like this, which describe like the whole gameplay in a combination of actors, characters, scenes, and kind of progress, but it's like the game is not 100% linear. You can move around whenever you want.
Oh, that's good.
You can follow different paths.
This is so well organized. Was it always organized, or is this like as the project continued, it became more organized?
It is organized when I design it.
Okay, all right. I like that.
I want to see the line straight.
No, it's perfect. I like it.
Yeah. But if other people are doing stuff, it's different. It depends on the person. Yeah. So and here, for example, but this is also the whole story has progressed. Again, this is like one version of it because you can play it in different ways. And from there, I mean, for me, like the combination of this part and this part is the whole Bible, and I can build the game from here. I don't need more things, of course, the script, and every other. This is here the characters. I'm not going to reveal everybody, but
this is very cool to see.
Yeah,
this is very, very
what
cool
else,
to see. No, this is great. The one other question I wanted to ask is, again, just kind of seeing like the initial planning stages and how it's developed over time. Was there anything in kind of your initial brainstorming that you wanted to include in the game, and at some point you were like, you know what, it doesn't fit, or it's over scoped?
Yeah.
Were there anything that you kind of wanted to initially add?
Yeah, definitely. And we try some things also. So we try to put some more actions things inside the game, because the game is mainly a narrative game. Okay, so there is mainly dialogues and you move around also. Like it's like a working simulator with interactive novel, if you wish, somehow in a 3D environment. So I don't know what exactly how you can call it, but this is the technical term of that. Yeah. We had different ideas of, okay, maybe the character can have a mechanics that can throw things around, and we tried those things that we didn't add. Also, the end has changed drastically from what we have, even from here, but we try to have another idea of the ending. And also in the whole process, again, this is like a version 4. If I go to different versions, you will see different things. In the process, at some point, like after the 2 years, we stuck on the narrative part. And so there we needed an external help from find a narrative designer, Daffy from UK, that helped us move forward to a kind of different direction of how it ends, and then it clicks all together.
But the initial idea, Andreas, the initial idea that this cat detective at the end becomes a quantum
BI investigator. The initial idea is there from the beginning.
It's it's the same thing. And
but there are mechanics that there are different things that we decided to remove, and also there are things that we decided to remove and then we added back.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so there are two action parts there. It's not heavy action, but a little bit fun. Like there's a fight in a runner game that helps, I think, with the whole storytelling and the comedy. This ones we wanted in the beginning to say no, and then we say, okay, let's add them back together. So that's also that.
Yeah, I think it's cool to see how the process can change over time, and like you said, removing things and then adding them back in. I think that's cool to hear, and I think it's important for people to hear that being a little flexible with your original vision can help create other creative opportunities, which is awesome. I do want to dive a little bit deeper into the game itself. We've already talked about the visual style. I'm going to start with an easy one. Who is the star cat? Where is the cat modeled off of your cat? Who is this cat specifically?
It's not modeled from our cat. Our cat it's a pitch black cat, so it's very difficult to make it film black and white.
Yeah, black and white with a black cat.
The lighting will not work, unfortunately. But it is a cat that, as Maria said, that
it was in the garden there.
It was in the garden in the island we spent during COVID, the lockdown. It was a cat like that, and it reminds us this cat at least.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean I can continue with about the character, but you can.
I want to hear more about the character. I always want
Yeah.
to hear
So
about cats.
The character is a little bit not very clever. But he thinks he has a huge idea for himself. He's a little bit rude, annoying. Yeah, several things, and we try to keep this up to the end. We tried. I think we managed, and yeah, it's not the lovable character that it's sweet, sweet cat. I mean, he's doing things that are not really, Uh, well.
Yeah, it's like
So,
I
yeah.
don't know if it's like an anti-hero, but it's the whole idea is that okay, you have this cat, this detective cat inside the in the 1930s. The 1930s, it came first from the visual part, but it works very nice with the story that we're telling. It has to happen in 1930s if you want specific characters, scientists to exist at this era, let's say.
Sure.
So it's so we have this that the game starts that we have this character that is not does not have no money. He's a very very bad detective. It's a typical, I would say, origin story of this kind of person. The whole idea is how we make the game of how he never take the good decision, but somehow he managed to solve the mystery and managed to move forward. So it's a combination of. I mean, if you wish, I mean, we're thinking like the other day with Maria. What's our origins of what's our influence that we had in mind, and even if it wasn't. So one thing you can say it reminds a little bit of like a Scooby-Doo story or what else this kind of characters. Yeah, that's about the I don't know.
And a detail, it's not really a what we call they call detective game.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
also
He is a detective,
Sure.
but it's not really so complicated, things inside as players, knows about that. So the cat is a detective. That's the
Understood.
main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we're seeing some of the B-roll on screen now, and there's a pig character. Every time there's a new character that's a new animal, I get excited again, and it's so enjoyable. I want to talk a little bit about the music, especially in this style with a very specific era in mind. You guys are both composers. The music's going to set the scene. It's going to tie the emotional connections together. It's going to do great. How important is music to the modern indie gaming scene? And how do you kind of reflect that in this game specifically?
You mean in general? Yeah, it depends. Sometimes it's the main thing in some games, or sometimes participate as a background music. But also, even as a background music could be very important. I mean, if you just select the right vibe, let's say, even if it is just a loop or a small thing. So yes, it is important in the most of them. And yeah, we choose this a kind of a jazzy thing, improvisational stuff, a lot of improvisation, very serious, with a lo-fi beat that gives a humorous tone. I think
we want to make a
combination.
contradiction a little bit of
Yeah.
so
Sure.
we didn't go to with yeah, it's a little bit tricky at this. So in this, we in the beginning we have some kind of title that reminds the titles of the era. So there,
Yeah.
Maria has composed something that is looks like very very close to what an orchestral piece will start the film. So we give this tone
Back then, yes.
yeah, back then, and we try to distort it so it looks very old recording and stuff, and then
Older,
then,
a little bit like that.
yeah, and then we move to the first scene, and then we start. I had this idea to add the lo-fi beat theme because one of the main thing of the game, of the part of the game design, is to the players should feel relaxed and play it. This is extremely important for me. So that the player is feeling is relaxed, and now we can serve him whatever we want, the jokes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this low beat. So there is some jazz elements there, but the jazz element is not the important stuff. For me, it's more this lo-fi vibes you have, which is a common more in like I would say different kind of style of games, and this gives the whole tone, and I think it works. It worked quite well from what the others told us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys have such a strong sense of setting, both in location and in time. And I think the music helps tie all of that together. And of course, all of your characters feel so natural in this world. It's very impressive. I want to know, how do you balance dialogue when you have characters that are humanoid as well as animals? What is your approach to it in the game?
So we decided to put a voice on the main character only when he's thinking. So that's a monologue when Albert is thinking, or when he just observes some objects. So that was our main idea. And then the next idea was to when they really have a dialogue, to use animal voices, real animal voices.
It's not real animal voices.
Not real. I'm the cat, for example.
Are you the cat?
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah. Thank you. And some others are voices from audio creatures, and some other are just recordings, real sounds. And I think this between the voice, the deep voice actor and the animal voices is, I think it's also added.
But the dialogue itself, the writing itself, it's which is Michelle has done an amazing work there. And of course, one reason that we move forward with this game is because we found this collaborator that she understood what we wanted to do, and she could go crazy to write all this amazing dialogue. Is that we take the product. I mean, that doesn't matter if they are animals or not. We take it seriously. So it's Albert is going to be like a serious private investigator, and then we have different characters that they're going to play. Like Rudy is the bookie, so he's going to play the role, and we're going to have a serious dialogue there. So, and you have this kind of contradiction of what you see. Mm-hmm. But you can imagine the whole with real actors. It's not going to be any difference. The animals helps a lot because Michelle starts putting always jokes that reflects to the animal that says a joke, and that's also works in a different level. But also about this process to explain how that works, because just to find the writer is not. First of all, to find a good writer is not easy, and just to find the writer to tell him or her just do the work is not going to work. So what we did is we worked a lot, and in the beginning, Maria also wrote a lot of, in the first prototypes, a lot of dialogues, how we wanted them to be. Of course, we're not writers, or English is not our first language. So but we give a direction of how, and then Michelle took that and make it what it is right now.
Yeah, you've provided, I kind of, throughout the conversation we've had so far, a lot of nuggets about how effective collaboration really supported this project, and that writing process definitely sounds so cool, about how you guys created the initial prototypes and set the tone and then brought in other people. I think it's really, really fascinating, and again speaks to like the collaborative indie spirit of pulling the right people and making sure that you're working well with them. I want to kind of change gears here, because we've talked about it, we've touched on it, but I really think that we can show it off, about how setting a scene has kind of informed the creative process. And you've mentioned a little bit about how you kind of want to create things that emulate how films are created and how sets are made. So I'll let you speak a little bit more to it, but I know that you've kind of prepared a little bit of show and tell for us as well. And hopefully the Unity community is able to kind of take this and allow it, if not to inspire them, to kind of lead them down a path of creativity on their own as well.
Yeah, so one thing, so I want to say before, for this game, and what we try to do is I try to solve, before even trying to build this game, I try to solve a problem I had with previous projects. Is okay, can I create some toolkits or a framework that I can very quickly build mainly narrative games, but you can use it for other stuff also. But you can very quickly iterate on some things, or something like that. And also the first project we tried to do that is not, it wasn't even Albert Wilde, was a different project we still are going to do at some point. And then Albert Wilde is the first project that we are using this, what we call Beyond framework, because we call Beyond the Hills, it's internally joke, but it is something like that. This is the first where we're using this tool, which I can explain a little bit what's the logic and what we try to solve. I can very quickly, let me see, go to. So the game itself, it's apart from different scenes, and each scene we have it always have two kind of scene. One is the complete the graphic scene, so it's we use the multiple scenes in Unity. It's one the office scene, for example, is the graphics, and the other one is a gameplay scene. Okay, so we see here we have the this is if you wish the whole scene, but so this way, first of all, we can collaborate very easily with a graphic, with a person for graphics, so you can change the one could be able to change this to whatever they want, and then another developer can work on the part of the gameplay. And also helps that regarding how we load the memory and how we manage the game, that we can always keep most of the gameplay scenes alive, but not the graphics themselves. We can swap graphics.
Sure.
And the way that we're it's a very simple idea how then we do things. It's we defined what we call point of interests. Which are, I'm going to close this so it will be very obvious. So here it's the whole office scene, and we have the point of interest with some colliders and some triggers. And this point of interest, they are, when you interact with this, we define this gameplay controllers. And in the end, now I need to mention that all our scripting of the game, so the framework is in Unity, of course, in C#, but all the scripting of the game itself, we do it with Ink, which is this amazing narrative programming language that here we have to shout out to the Inkle Studio. That it's an indie studio that probably most of the, I don't know if I have it somewhere here. Yeah, it's this studio. Definitely, you know their games. So they have the open source tool that everybody can use and integrate with Unity. Right. Which it's actually a whole language, but script language, but it's based on it's very focused on the narrative part. So even a writer, sometimes I can go and write here things. But the good thing is that here we can write the whole thing you want. And it's mainly dialogue. So for if I go, for example, to the office thing, sorry, very quickly. Yeah, here you can see, for example, here's a dialogue from Albert that says that, and then we map the audio, and this is run from here. And the other thing, so this is mainly for dialogue, so you can write text very quickly, text adventure games. But then the whole idea is that I had is, okay, I can start adding there my commands. So I implemented my own command language, if you wish, which I can run all the Unity events, all the modern behaviors from here whenever I want. And I can do this also at real time, which means, which is very helpful. So if I can start the game, I can open the console and start running these commands. So I can change, for example, very, very quick scenes, go from another to other. And that's solved me the problem that at some point, if I say, okay, I want to change the whole order of things that will happen, I can do this on my ink and I can test it there. I don't need to rebuild or do other stuff. More or less, always it's not always the case, but it's very, very, very more helpful and more quick the whole iteration. I don't know what there's a lot of stuff I can go more and more deep on the tools.
Yeah, if you want to dive into kind of your own kind of custom toolkit, we also have Toak on the Twitch side. Unity Unity custom tool support is what made me fall in Unity. Top 3 things I love to do in game dev, and we've talked through a number of different people. Talked to a number of different people that we had. That kind of come in and create all their own tools. And you guys talked to me a little bit ahead of time as well about how it helps streamline your process and will help set you up for future iteration as well.
Yeah, what we've learned with the other previous 2 games is that first you have to build your tools. I mean, the first game we didn't do that, which was always scripting, and it was very, very difficult for me to change something. I mean, I had to go back to C# to compile something. It didn't make sense. Of course, we're still learning, and I will strongly advise that whatever you can create like an automation or anything that can make your process quicker, I will say go for it as early as possible. I can show you an example here. So as I said, the whole game, the whole game is combination of scenes. So, and for me to inspect a scene, I need to load at least 2 scenes and maybe a dev manager that I have my cameras in profile. If I do this with my hand every time, it's going to lose my time. So what I did, I create a very, very small tool. I map everything on this keyboard.
Oh, that's
this
great.
Keyboard, every button of this keyboard is a different combination of scenes. So if I go to a different scene, I just press a button and this unit is going directly there. It's going to load me the dev manager. It's going to load me everything I need, and I can start working directly here with my tools. So that small things can give you so much boost of the productivity because you have to focus on the creative part. And this Unity did that because you can recreate almost everything in the editor scripts and more. So it's a very, very good thing that you can do that. And I would say, yeah, everybody, and I've seen everybody that does that in the scene. So it's extremely important. Of course, you have to know what the tools that you want to, what kind of things you want to solve every time. So for us, when we build the tools, and again, the tools we're building here are not even part of this project. It's in a different project, Unity, that we use it in different games, and we just bring here as a DLL. So I forgot what I want to say.
That's all right. Whatever you want to say.
Yeah, no, I lost my.
That's okay.
I said the DLL stuff and crashed my brain. Okay. So yeah. I remember. So what I said is like it's almost like the last 2 years that we're still developing the game. I would say almost, okay, to be true, but it was very, very few times that you have to really touch that's like a Unity code or C# code, because we have the tools and we created most of the things with tools, and that helps a lot, because now you can have actually your designers to start building things for you, or even your that people that do graphics, they can build for you, a lot of things like that. So the whole toolkit, we have it again, as I said, is quite simple. It's based on what we call it's like a command language that we parse. We have a parser so then I can go inside the game, and based on the items, the interactive objects I'm putting or every other kind of interactive mono behavior. I can go and I can interact this with a command line. And then doing that means this helps me a lot because then I go to Inc and I can control the whole game, the whole gameplay scene from there. So I can write my whole script and my whole logic there. But also this can help me on creating automation tools for testing, for example. I can write a script right now that can play the game alone. I don't have to play the game alone every time. I haven't done that, but it's going to happen at some point. But it's things like that you can do. It was planned to be done, but we didn't have time. So I want to show you, for example, here that we have this inside the game, and this is I have some commands here to copy paste. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, no, where is my? Yeah. Okay, so here I can very easily say I can change the scene. I can go to a different scene directly.
Oh, wow.
And also I can go and, for example, somebody built something for the crime scene, and I can go directly there and see and start testing things. I can also go and interact with objects. I know the names of the objects. I can say, okay, interact with this investigation point of interest, and the whole timeline and play that will start. The whole game is going to start, and I can very, very quickly do those stuff here. So that helps a lot for me to go and say, okay, be inside the environment, in the live environment, not only the editor, and go around and say, okay, what I want to do, what I want to tell the story, and also from when we're writing things, but also when we develop things, how we test things. That's, I think, it's the most important stuff. And in the end, we found out that with a very few commands that we can create this experience. It's mostly defining, and I can show you that, defining, let's go to maybe what we call dialogues, conversation, gameplay items, mm-hmm. where I can maybe in different scenes. So let me go to the crime scene. But you see, I can very quickly go to whatever I want, and that's one thing good.
Yeah, I feel like you've talked about kind of streamlining the process and how you created all these tools at the beginning, and it kind of saved time as you went. Do you have an idea or a sense of how much time you saved yourself by doing this way?
I didn't save time for this game. I saved time for the next game.
So you're ready. You're ready for the future.
Yeah,
which is good.
But no, it was But to be honest, it's I don't think it would be possible for this game to complete how we completed it without those tools, because the last part of the game, like the Act 3, which is in the end, it became a huge scene. We just completed like a little bit before launch. So if I didn't have those tools, I would say, okay, I'm going to cut the whole. We have a big forest in there. I will say, okay, I'm going to cut it. It's not possible to do it other ways.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So it would be completely different. How the things would be.
Yeah. I think this is awesome. I think this is so cool. I'm so grateful that you elected to show this to us and kind of open it up and show a little bit of your process. And that goes the same for me. I love seeing a whiteboard and brainstorm process, this setting of scenes and how you kind of use your narrative tools, the custom toolkit, all of that I find so fascinating. And I know that we have a number of people expressing interest and appreciation for what you're showing. So thank you again for doing that. As we kind of approach, I guess, towards the end of the stream, I've collected a handful of questions from the community, and we're going to dive into those as well. But we're also going to start our giveaway. So if you would like to enter and have an opportunity to win a copy of Cat Detective Albert Wilde, what I will need from you is for you to head over to the Twitch channel if you are watching on YouTube, twitch.tv/Unity. and put in the chat !giveaway. That will give you an opportunity to win here. We'll pull a handful and make sure that we get those keys off. If you do win, I will be reaching out to you via Twitch DMs. Make sure that your settings are in a state where you can receive DMs from accounts, and I will be extending those codes to those that have won. So everyone can enter. Everyone can enter once. If you are watching on anything that's not Twitch, it'll take you a very short time to hop over and create an account and make sure to hop in. Lone, thank you for popping out. Make sure that you enter !giveaway independently of the rest of your message. And while you guys enter the giveaway, I've pulled a couple of questions, like I said, throughout the stream that people want to know. So Maria and Andreas from The Bull on the YouTube side says, what was the biggest setback and how did you get past it? What was one of the biggest challenges that you guys faced along the way here?
From the narrative, I'm not going to talk about the business perspective. Marek
Sure.
can talk about that. But from the creative perspective, it was when we couldn't find a solution, a narrative solution at some point on how this is going to. We have it's like we had the end, we had the beginning and a lot of, but something was missing there, and this is where we had this idea, okay, let's go outside and find someone. Actually, it wasn't like find someone, and we're going to keep saying that. It's like we went to Adventure X conference in UK, and then people came, some art designers came, they liked the game, and we start chatting about, and we feel that we fit, and he helped us move around. So that was, I think, the most challenge. And of course, the other is the most challenge in every game is how you finish a game from the production perspective. How you say, okay, that's enough.
Exactly.
I don't have a solution to that. I don't think.
I think it's such an interesting challenge, and we hear about it all the time.
Just put a deadline, and you just put outside whatever the deadline. Not buggy, of course.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. People say all the time, like, art is never truly finished, it's just released. And I've heard that a lot in game design as well, where people are like, I could continue to work on this and noodle and change and tweak and add, but at some point it just needs to be out there. So I think that is a challenge that maybe doesn't have a solution. So I think you kind of touched on it perfectly there. Weekend on the Twitch side wanted to ask a little bit more about the narrative tools and was curious about, does the system also allow for translation? Is that tool and the way that you've set it up, does it make it really easy to kind of translate over all of the text?
Yeah, it is because because the ink right now it's text, and I choose the tool I try also some visual tools. I decided to go to text because as an old software engineer, I want to see text. And what we do is we have a meta tools that we parse the whole dialogues and we create tags for the audio. And those tags with audio, I can give it and have an Excel directly from there, a CFC. I can give it to translation and give me a JSON that will be the translation, and I can replace everything because I have those tags. So it's we haven't done that yet because we don't have a localization for budgeting reasons, but we did this for audio when we have dialogues, and that's your tags. This is the only thing you need.
Yeah, that's great. Kind of following up on that, we also had a question from the Twitch chat about how robust is the Unity/Ink integration? How often do you worry about things like invalid or broken references, or is it a pretty smooth process?
It's a smooth process. I didn't have a lot of problems, but you have to. I had a problem that I have to solve, which is it's a little bit to understand how it works. You need a little bit of time because it's not a structural programming language. Because it's more a flow. So at some point, I understood that if I'm in a specific flow, I cannot, for example, call another flow because the other flow hasn't stopped. And when I realized that, because I was using flows nodes as functions in my head, and I said, okay, I did a mistake. So I hacked the system a little bit here. So when I get an error there, I just wait a little bit, and then I call the other afterwards. So that's the only thing that is for me, for how we do things, it's a little bit it would say problematic, but we had to find a workaround around that. But for the so far, I didn't see any kind of issue of the robustness of the tool, the way that we are using it.
That's great. Good to hear. And thank you for providing that insight. We have Tenerife developer on the Twitch side saying, thank you guys for your explanation, and your work is amazing. I think there's a certain level of gratitude that comes from our community when anytime someone wants to step in and show off their creation and the inner workings of it. So I'm super grateful as well. We're going to keep this giveaway open for another couple of minutes here. If you've not already, head over to twitch.tv/Unity. ! Giveaway in the chat gives you an opportunity to win one of 10 game codes for Cat Detective Albert Wilde. And while we wait for that to wrap, I just want to take it home with you, Maria and Andreas. How are you guys feeling now that this game is out there in the wild? You guys released last week. Congratulations. People are finally getting their hands on it. What does that feel like for you guys?
This is a relief,
Okay.
first of all, that the production is on the end, and we have already start thinking the next project, so that's good. Otherwise it's a little bit complicated if we are starting to think about sales and marketing and things like that. It's more complicated, but we feel good now that we can go on, to the next one. And also, we didn't say that the trailer that you said that you like it.
Love the trailer.
Is right now on IGN YouTube channel, and this is also something that we are proud of. Not only that we are here now, but also for that, for this one. It's an honor for Cat Detective. And so that's how we feel. I mean, relief and let's go on.
For me, this is like the third game. I would say for me the releases is the hardest thing. For several reasons. Okay, maybe I don't know. Maybe if you have a super success, maybe it's different. We'll see in the future. But so there is, for me, it's always a kind of depressing sometimes. So sure. what we change a lot is what Maria said is we already have started working on our next game like 1 year even before we do the release. So we know, and we also started presenting in conference stuff. So we already, because we didn't have to have this gap for creativity can kill you. That you have, okay, you finished, you're exhausted, and then you say next what? So that's and also actually we have more prototypes that it's that is almost. I mean, we could start, and we decided to go with one with some collaborators. So that helps a lot, and that's the advice for new devs. It's great to know what you're going to do next.
Sure.
Before you do a release, because the release depends on how it's going. It can be difficult. Yeah. Even with a small success, can be difficult because you always see you can always see a greater potential that you didn't catch. It's personal.
Yeah.
But a relief, definitely, it's a relief, and that's why you have to put deadlines. Like I'm going to do that and move forward, because you can stack also with this process creativity lots of years, and this would be, I don't know. I'm not the pessimist. I'm trying to be.
No, I think you're doing great. Again, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing everything that you've shared throughout today's stream. We're going to close up our giveaway. We're going to give out some games here to some winners, which I think is going to be awesome. I'm always excited to introduce to our community some very, very cool games. We have 10 that we're going to pick here now, and I'm just going to fire them off. Our first winner is going to be Awesome Fox 42, followed by Hayden 42. There's a trend. We've got Blue Lou here. Everything rhymes. Kit Volpes, congratulations. Angel Beat Flights. We've got BB Huntered. We've got Lone Luminary Dev. Glad you came out of your lurk for that. Cat Murdoch, congratulations. Page of Moths and Weekend, Congratulations, everybody. Again, I'll be reaching out via Twitch DMs to give you guys those codes. So thank you so very much for entering, for hanging out with us today. If you did not win, heck, even if you did win, please go and check out Cat Detective Albert Wilde on Steam. It is available. Tell all of your friends. This is a super fun game made by some very lovely people. So thank you guys again so much for joining me, Maria and Andreas. I had an absolute blast. Congratulations on releasing such a unique and exciting and fun game. That makes me super, super happy every single time I see it. Thank you guys again so very much for being here.
Thank you very much for
Thank you
being
very
here.
much.
Of
Yeah.
course. Don't go anywhere. We're going to switch gears and sign off for the stream, but I'll chat to you guys backstage in just a moment here. Awesome. Thank you very, very much. And with that, we are going to wrap up, everybody. Thank you again for hanging out, for asking questions, for being engaged, for being curious, for being supportive. This game is super cool. I highly recommend, again, that everyone goes and checks it out. If you want to stay connected to the Unity community, we, of course, have the Discord and discussions pages for you both. You can go and check it out, ask questions, learn something, connect with fellow developers, and overall, just kind of grow. We've been doing a survey throughout the entire month of January. If you have 3 minutes, I would really appreciate if you went in and filled out that survey. It tells us a little bit more about you as a audience member and about what type of content you would like to see so that we can continue to create content here that you want to be at, the things that you want to learn, the things you want to see, the things you want to engage with. That's the one. Of course, our next stream is going to be a big one. Our next stream is on, it's on Thursday, February the 6th. We will be joined by the legend themselves, Major Nelson. Larry Herb is coming in to hang out. Larry Herb will be here alongside Chris Zukowski. We are going to be talking about how to market a game. At the end of the month, there is Steam Next Fest. So we have brought in the experts to talk about how to get as many eyes on your stream as possible. Or sorry, as many eyes on your game as possible. So come and check that out. We will be sure to have some very interesting conversation and some great Q&A, some awesome opportunity for you to engage with some big names in the industry as well. So if you want to go and check that out, check out the Twitch the Twitch page and the YouTube page where we will have the events all set up for you. Or, of course, go and check out the Discord where we have the events there every day. Thank you again so very much for being here. And for those of you that are new here, I hope you elect to join us for a future stream. We will see you all again soon. And until that time, my name's Jackson. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.